The moonlit path led deeper into the heart of the woods. It was a path less travelled, winding through the thick foliage and tangled roots of the swamp. Our small group of explorers, drawn by the allure of adventure, ventured forth into the unknown, guided only by the dim light of the moon above. As we delved deeper into the murky depths of the swamp, a sense of unease settled over us like a heavy cloak. The air grew thick with the oppressive humidity, and the sounds of the nocturnal creatures seemed to echo ominously through the stillness. We had been warned of the dangers that lurked within these treacherous waters. Tales of lost souls and vengeful spirits whispered among the locals. But we were undeterred, driven by our thirst for discovery and the promise of untold secrets hidden within the mist-shrouded expanse. It was not long before we realized that we had lost our way, the twisting waterways and dense fog disorienting us at every turn. Panic began to gnaw at the edges of our resolve, our footsteps quickening as we searched desperately for an escape from the suffocating darkness that surrounded us. It was then that we first caught sight of them, the ethereal lights that danced upon the surface of the water like flickering flames in the night. At first we dismissed them as mere tricks of the light, but as they drew nearer, we saw them for what they truly were, manifestations of something far more sinister. Shadows moved in the mist, their forms twisted and grotesque, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly malevolence. We stumbled backward, our hearts pounding in our chests as we realized that we were not alone in this desolate place. The spirits of the swamp, enraged by our intrusion into their domain, rose up from the depths to claim us as their own. We were powerless against their wrath, our screams drowned out by the cacophony of the night as they dragged us down into the cold embrace of the murky waters below. Time seemed to lose all meaning as we struggled against the suffocating grasp of the swamp, our lungs burning for air that refused to come. Memories flashed before my eyes, moments of joy and sorrow, laughter and tears, as I fought desperately for my very survival. And then, just when all hope seemed lost, a cool breeze swept through the silent forest, dispersing the fog and revealing the light of the moon once more. I surfaced, gasping for air as I looked around in disbelief at the empty waters that surrounded me. I was alone, the only survivor of our ill-fated expedition into the heart of the swamp. But as I stumbled back onto dry land, shaken but alive, I knew that I would carry the memories of that night with me forever, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond the edge of our world. The weight of the night's horrors pressed heavily upon me as I stumbled through the tangled undergrowth, my body trembling with exhaustion and fear. Each rustle of the leaves and every distant sound sent shivers down my spine, as if the very air itself whispered warnings of the terrors that lurked just out of sight. I dared not look back, for fear of what I might see lurking in the shadows behind me. Instead, I focused all my energy on putting one foot in front of the other, desperate to put as much distance between myself and the malevolent spirits that had claimed my companions. The moon hung high in the sky, casting its pale light down upon the swamp with an eerie glow. In its silvery beams, the twisted forms of the gnarled trees seemed to take on a life of their own, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers to ensnare any who dared to venture too close. And yet, despite the darkness that surrounded me, there was a glimmer of hope that flickered deep within my heart. For even in the face of unspeakable horror, there remained a spark of resilience, a stubborn refusal to surrender to the despair that threatened to consume me whole. It was that flicker of hope that drove me onward, propelling me forward through the dense underbrush with a determination born of desperation. I knew that I couldn't allow myself to falter, not when the lives of my friends hung in the balance. Hours passed like fleeting moments, the landscape blurring together in a haze of exhaustion and disbelief. And then, just when I thought I could go on no longer, I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in the soft light of dawn. Relief flooded through me like a tidal wave as I collapsed to my knees upon the damp earth, tears streaming down my face as I drank in the sight of the sun rising in the sky. For in that moment, I knew that I had survived the horrors of the swamp, but at what cost? The memories of that night would haunt me for the rest of my days, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that lurks within the deepest recesses of the human soul. But amidst the pain and the sorrow, there was also a glimmer of hope, for I had faced my fears and emerged stronger for it. And so, as I picked myself up from the ground and began the long journey home, I carried with me not only the scars of the past, but also the knowledge that even in the darkest of nights, there is always a light to guide us home. The journey back was a solitary one, each step a painful reminder of the friends I had lost and the horrors I had witnessed. The weight of their absence hung heavy upon my shoulders, a burden too heavy to bear alone. As I trudged through the wilderness, the memories of our ill-fated expedition replayed in my mind like a relentless nightmare. The laughter and camaraderie we had shared now felt like distant echoes, drowned out by the deafening silence of their absence. Faces flashed before my eyes. Sarah's infectious smile, Mark's booming laughter, and Emily's gentle kindness. They were gone now, swallowed up by the darkness of the swamp, their voices silenced forever by the malevolent spirits that dwelled within its depths. Guilt gnawed at the edges of my conscience, a relentless reminder of my failure to protect those I had sworn to keep safe. I had led them into danger with false promises of adventure and discovery, only to watch helplessly as they were snatched away by forces beyond my comprehension. And yet, amidst the grief and the self-recrimination, there was also a glimmer of defiance, a stubborn refusal to let their deaths be in vain. For even as I mourned their loss, I vowed to honor their memory by exposing the truth of what had happened in that accursed swamp. And so, with a heavy heart and a determined spirit, I pressed on, driven by a singular purpose: to shine a light into the darkness and uncover the secrets that lay hidden within the mists of malevolence. It wouldn't be an easy journey, of that I was certain. The road ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty, and the shadows that lurked at the edge of my vision seemed to grow darker with each passing moment. But I refused to be deterred, for I knew that the truth was worth fighting for, no matter the cost. And as long as I drew breath, I would continue to seek justice for those who had been lost to the sinister depths of the swamp. And so, with a heavy heart and a determined spirit, I pressed on into the unknown, guided by the memories of those who had fallen and fueled by the hope that one day I would find the answers I sought and lay their restless souls to rest. For theirs was a story that deserved to be told, a tale of bravery and sacrifice, of friendship and betrayal, and of the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of unspeakable darkness. And though the road ahead may be long and fraught with peril, I would not falter. For I knew that somewhere, beyond the mist of malevolence, lay the truth, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to seek it. With each passing mile, the memories of that fateful night weighed heavier upon my soul. The pain of loss mingled with the burning determination to uncover the truth, driving me forward through the wilderness with a sense of purpose that transcended my own grief. The sun beat down relentlessly upon my weary form as I trudged onward, my footsteps echoing hollowly in the silence of the forest. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying vegetation, a stark contrast to the pristine beauty that had drawn us to the swamp in the first place. And yet, despite the desolation that surrounded me, there was a strange sense of serenity in the solitude of the wilderness. The rustling of the leaves and the chirping of the birds seemed to offer solace in their simplicity, a reminder that life continued on despite the tragedies that befell us. As the hours stretched into days, my resolve only grew stronger, fueled by the memories of those I had lost and the knowledge that their spirits still lingered in the darkness, waiting to be set free. With each step forward, I felt their presence beside me, urging me onward with whispered words of encouragement. And then, just when I thought I could go on no longer, I stumbled upon a clue, a weathered map tucked away beneath the roots of an ancient tree. It was a small thing, barely more than a scrap of paper, but to me, it was a beacon of hope in the darkness, a sign that I was on the right path. With renewed determination, I followed the map's crude markings deeper into the heart of the wilderness, guided by the promise of answers that lay hidden just beyond the next bend in the road. The journey was long and arduous, but I knew that I could not rest until I had uncovered the truth of what had happened in that accursed swamp. And so, with every ounce of strength I possessed, I pressed on, driven by a fierce determination to bring closure to the families of those who had been lost and to ensure that their memories would never be forgotten. And as I plunged deeper into the heart of darkness, I knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty. But I was undeterred, for I knew that the truth was worth fighting for, no matter the cost. And so, with a heavy heart and a resolute spirit, I continued on my journey, guided by the flickering light of hope that burned bright within me. For though the path ahead may be shrouded in darkness, I knew that as long as I held on to that light, I would never truly be alone. And so, with one final glance back at the wilderness that stretched out behind me, I turned my gaze forward and set out into the unknown, ready to face whatever dangers lay ahead in my quest to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within the mists of malevolence.